Everybody's ready to put 2020 in the rearview mirror. What's next in 2021? Find out next on Inside St. Lucie. Hello, welcome to this edition of Inside St. Lucie, SLC TV's monthly government affairs show. I'm your host, Eric Gill, Communications Director for St. Lucie County. And on today's show, we're going to sit down and talk with St. Lucie County Commission Chair Chris Zdatovsky about the upcoming year and take a look back at the past year. But before we meet our guest, here's some upcoming events and announcements from the Board of County Commissioners. St. Lucie County offices and attractions will be closed on Monday, January 18th in observance of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. A reminder that all county attractions, including the Oxbow Eco Center, St. Lucie County Regional History Center, and Aquarium, are open to the public with advanced registrations. St. Lucie County libraries are open for walk-in visitors, and many of their programs have been restored either virtually or at outdoor meeting spaces. The Environmental Resources Department has resumed guided hikes with limited participation to follow CDC guidelines. For dates and topics, visit slchikes.org. Well, for the latest updates about all St. Lucie County Commission meetings, workshops, and events, be sure to visit our website at stlucieco.gov and click on our comprehensive calendar. And if you'd like to be added to our press release distribution list, you can send us an email at pio@stlucieco.org. We also hope you'll follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at stluciegov to find out all the latest events. We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, we're going to check in with the latest economic development stats with another St. Lucie Works. After rebounding in September, the bed tax revenue in October decreased by 18% for the same time frame in 2019. However, October 19 collections were the second highest in the county's history. Overall building activity increased by 5.7% between September and October, with 1,045 total permits submitted. Revenue for that same time increased by 9%, generating more than $230,000. The housing market remains strong. According to the Florida Realtors Association, the median home sale price in St. Lucie County in October was $260,000, up 9.7% from last year, while condo values rose by 17.5% with the median price at $189,500. St. Lucie's unemployment rate dropped again in October to 5.5% compared to September. Statewide, the unemployment rate was 6.4%. The largest increases in the labor force in the Treasure Coast were in construction with 1,000 new jobs, manufacturing with 400, and transportation with 300 new jobs. The largest decreases were in government, education and health services, and leisure and hospitality. If you work for a local business looking for skilled or trained labor, be sure to contact the staff at CareerSource as they can assist your company with its recruitment and training needs. And if you're an individual looking for a job, they can help you as well. Visit the CareerSource online at careersourcerc.com or call 866-4U2-HIRE. Welcome back to Inside St. Lucie. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and I'm joined by St. Lucie County Commission Chair Chris Zdatovsky. Commissioner, welcome back to the show.
Knuckles.
Yeah, exactly. Air bump, right? Well,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming back on in 2021. It's hard. I had to write it for the first time the other day, and it was weird, you know?
I'm just glad it's here.
Yeah. Get that year behind us.
Oh, my goodness. We have been through it, haven't we?
We have. Well, you probably a little more because you had an election to tackle.
What?
Which had to be strange. I mean, this was your fourth term running?
This will be my fourth.
This is your fourth term. Yeah. So, but trying to run a campaign and an election when you're not we're social distancing, not getting mass gatherings, that had to be a different election process.
It very much was, and it actually changed the way I actually operate in public. I normally am doing all of the wonderful things that the nonprofits are doing, beach cleanups, oyster bed restorations, being at different events with the kids and reading to the kids. And just being myself, right? And it really took away from what I do normally, and in a campaign, you can't really talk to people.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult. And from the technology side, it was new to probably everyone. The whole virtual shows, and it was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot. I learned that being younger and technology savvy is very helpful, especially when you're in an election, because we didn't really use the technology as well as my opponent. But that's okay. We made it back.
You made it back into office, and it's a pretty impressive. You serve a 4-year term, so I've been here, serving 12 and get an additional 4 more years. That's a long time. I mean, I'm coming up on 18 years now at the county this year, so a lot has changed during that time. What do you think is the most significant changes you've seen?
Gosh, what we focused on when I first came in, we had 16.9% unemployment. And my biggest focus back then was, let's change the economic dynamic that is St. Lucie County. We were relying on rooftops, retirees, and tourism. Well, those are all good. They're good add-ons to your economy, but you've got to have something that manages the economy 12 months a year. And so from a policy standpoint, we started going after antiquated policies in the beginning, changing the way business gets to business faster, speed to market, as I like to call it. But we focused really on manufacturing intermodal distribution, which is really, I'm not going to say it's recession-proof, but it certainly helps in trying to keep people employed. And what we've seen last year, the hospitality industry, back to the tourism, kind of fell off, and that was a really major loss for those restaurants and areas where people go to visit. And so, changing what we've done, I think we're probably now about 5.7% unemployment, and that's really the hospitality side, the hotels and so on. So we've been able to keep the unemployment lower because of the economic changes that we made.
Yeah, and some of those successes we've talked about multiple times on the show, but Pursuit and Maverick, the boat builders, Tamco down in the southern end of the county, they make light manufacture. I don't really know what. I mean, I know they do
electric devices.
Electric device. Thank
Everything
you.
has to do with electronics. And, and then most recently, the announcement for FedEx. 245,000 square feet distribution center. And that's largely because of our geographic area with the roadway structures and so on. Certainly the airport will come to play a part down the road.
Yeah.
The success is Director Fort Pierce. Probably in the next 2 months, you'll start seeing the lift being built, 1,500-ton lift, and you'll start to see those boats come in.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. And again, the good part of what the Board of County Commissioners has done is we work well together. We may disagree on points, but we always somehow find a way to make whatever the issue is better. So not every position of any one commissioner is always the right way, but that's why there's 5 of us, to talk through the issues, find a better way, and that's what we've been able to do.
Yeah.
And then the companies that are coming in here, they're looking at the stability of your elected officials, that being Port St. Lucie County, and Fort Pierce. The relationships have been good over the last several years. And outside folks coming to invest want to see stability in their elected officials, and we've been able to have that. So we're hoping that continues through 2021, and that the movement in the manufacturing sector continues. Those jobs are paying well above minimum wage, but even higher than our median wage. So all of those things are good. But as importantly, it's the actual regulatory side that we have been able to look and find positive solutions to. Working with the Chamber, working with the Treasure Coast Builders Association, finding what maybe have worked in the 90s that doesn't work in 2021.
Sure.
And so all of those things are really good.
Yeah, when you talk about or distribution centers, you go back, 10, 15 years now, the Walmart distribution center, that was kind of the first big one that we had. But it makes sense because, like you said, geographically, we're right that sweet spot between South and Central Florida, access directly across to the West Coast, even, Islamorada Brewing Company, which, I've been there a couple times.
Once or twice.
They moved up here from the Keys because of the distribution, it just makes sense.
Well, you make a good point there, and really, there's regulatory components for the trucking, right?
Sure.
So the 250 mile is the threshold. You can be in Tampa and back in the same day. You can be in Jacksonville and back in the same day. You can be in Miami and back in the same day. So from a geographical condition, that makes us very desirable. And most recently, having a conversation with somebody that wants to work with us at the Serta Park. another distribution center for manufacturing and so on. So again, creating the ground floor or the basis of being able to bring business in has been incredibly important. So when you take away the antiquated regulations and components, make it more positive, business wants to be here. And speed to market again is the key.
Yeah, another industry I think that has a lot of potential for growth, and obviously healthcare.
Right.
You know, you hear even the college, Indian River State College, is focused on that, and you know, obviously there's some burnout at the hospitals and nurses because of the pandemic, but there's certainly growth there too. Cleveland Clinic coming in, partnering with Martin Health, they just bought 44 acres down in Port St. Lucie area.
Yeah,
Southern Grove, thank you, to expand that facility, and with the VGTI building there's a lot of growth for medical as well.
Well, the interesting part about that is, they're all coming, right? And we're seeing the challenges with COVID-19, and IRSC was just bequeathed $45 million from Mackenzie Scott. And God bless her soul. She's a wonderful person, and being able to provide that funding, she picked us out for a reason. And IRSC is a great area for people to get trained and educated. And from the medical side, what an important time for those funds to be available for those who wish to be trained in that field. So
yeah, and as again, we're on the medical vein. I looked on our timeline down the wall up to the chambers, and I look in 2012 when we announced that the state was going to put the 7th Veterans Nursing Home, which hopefully it's opening soon. We don't have, board doesn't have control. It's a state-run facility. COVID kind of slowed them down too, as far as hiring, but that's a great opportunity too, for, again, to be in with that medical community, a few miles down the road.
Yeah. And again, the reason why it hasn't opened is simply because of the number of nurses and doctors and personnel that are in the hospitals today. They just don't have enough people. And so
and talking to Steve Murray with the state too, not to cut you off, but a lot of the things too, we're just trying to buy, it's a 120 bed facility, trying to get the same 120 nightstands for all rooms, and then have to change protocols. So now we need extra glass up here in PPE because of COVID. So that helped, or not helped, but kind of hurt the opening of that facility. But that was a huge monument for the county to help partner with the city to work through their permitting and the state to get that landed here. And it's hard to think it was 6 years ago, however long it was.
I remember Franny and I and some other board members that were here before up in Tallahassee. When we got the word, we actually all went up there to sit in the audience, and Governor Scott and the cabinet were talking, and some other counties were in the audience and in the running. And I think it was
Marion.
Was it Marion?
I think it was Marion County. Yeah.
And they were generous enough to say, look, if the next one comes out, we will be happy to support St. Lucie County. And we in turn said, look, we will support that effort going forward for the next one. So that was good politics right there. That we all got together and said, look, let's do this for the veterans.
Yeah.
And again, going back to that one, all of the elected officials on the Treasure Coast came together, wrote letters, emails, made phone calls, and our veterans on the phone with their representatives and writing the notes and emails made a huge difference. So looking forward to that being open this year in 2021 and seeing a whole new horizon for all of us.
Yeah. Looking forward the next 4 years, what are some things that you feel that you want to see the county move forward and accomplish?
Well, again, what we have been able to accomplish is to continue to knock down the regulations that don't make sense, making sure that they fit with what is happening in 2021. When you have regulations that have been in place since 1980 and you haven't changed them, there's some challenges there. Of course, our roadway systems are incredibly important. We passed a half-cent sales tax last year, thanks to the public for helping us with that. That was very important, and we're seeing the results of that now. But Kings Highway will be finished. Indrio Road will be finished. Midway Road, please be finished.
That's a state project. It's not all us.
It is, but the point is it's still, it looks like ours. So a lot of these things we hope to complete. And then, of course, continuing the manufacturing sector, the intermodal distribution centers. I'd like to see the airport move forward with its growth. When I took office, it had an economic development number of about $75 million. Last year, 2020, they were looking at 2017 numbers, and the economic input was about $600 million. We expect the numbers to come out from the 2019. They come out about every 2 years. It takes a long time to get those reports. But we expect the 2019 numbers to come back to be over $1 billion. So we've just opened the MRO, the Manufacturing Renovation Overhaul hangar. There's incredible interest now of what's happening at the airport. So we hadn't seen much growth out there from a building standpoint, from hangars. Now that's going to jumpstart that. So there's a lot of outside input that people are looking to come here.
But even with the airport, it's interesting because there's not a lot of growth, but we were running almost at full capacity out there. The hangars and facilities that are there, and I think a lot of people don't realize the thousands of people that are employed out there. People think of airports as just, I'm going to hop on this plane, and you've got some experience with that.
A little bit, yeah.
But airports can be much more than just flying people to another destination, which that industry, obviously, because of the pandemic, took a hit. But we have people out there that manufacture rehab engines that do painting of boats or the engine covers for some of the boats.
Yeah, and, for Maverick, they get done there in specialty work.
Yeah.
Phoenix Metals, and they actually just expanded too. So. Yep. So if you walked on any stair in getting on and off any airplane, it probably came from Phoenix Metals.
But it's interesting because and I don't know how we would do it, but we should maybe do tours of all the business. But we don't own those businesses, so it'd be tough to pull off. But we've done some videos, the St. Lucie Works, to highlight some of those businesses out there to showcase that airports can be economic engines and not just a place where you get on a plane and go somewhere else.
From my experience. I spent 25 years in the airline industry, and so I've been able to see a lot of things and how a lot of things have been accomplished around airports. And airports are basically a big city of their own. The aviation side is one thing, but we've seen just with COVID. I mean, the industry has parked thousands and thousands and thousands of planes. So when that industry takes a dive, something else has to pick it up. And when the Board of County Commissioners reviewed the airport master plan, a lot of that was, where do we put the types of buildings? What are we looking for? There was conversation about having a helicopter center teaching people how to fly helicopters. Maybe even the Air Methods has come in and taken a look at what we do here and possibly creating a training center here. And fixing the airplanes, the helicopters, but also fixed wing air ambulance. That's a big business. And if you're in the Caribbean and you need to get somewhere, and say you've been bent diving, you dive.
Yeah.
If you've been bent diving, you have to fly below a certain altitude to be able to get to.
Worse.
Yeah, because so those are things that are important. We're very well located. And then with customs and expanding our foreign trade zone.
I was going to bring that up. That ties back into the manufacturing. If we get that foreign trade zone status,
Yeah. So these are a lot of the focuses that we're trying to accomplish, and then to support that, having the state help us with widening St. Lucie Boulevard, connecting to 95 and a turnpike with the airport connector. There are developers out there that actually are interested in actually building the interchange on their dime, and it's a unique public-private partnership with the Turnpike. So if that can happen, take some pressure off the interchange at Fort Pierce. But as importantly, make it more accessible to the thousands of acres of green space that are out at the airport.
Yeah.
So those are major focuses. And of course, the port. We are just getting off the ground with our port expansion with Director Fort Pierce, the lift, the lift area, the pull-out. I don't even know what they call it.
A ship lift.
Yeah. So that's all being dug out right now, and hopefully it'll be done probably by March. And the lift is being sent over to be built here on site. So that'll be exciting, and focusing on what do we do with the master plan after it's completed. And we've got a good focus. We have Fort Pierce Yacht and Ship. They're still in the port. A lot of green space, the empty space, 67 acres to the north. are available for development. So there's a lot of exciting things. So the port and the airport are a large part of my focus. And then, of course, we've just had some conversations. There is interest in the Deserta Park for a whole new way of managing that park. And then the Airport Business Park off of Kings Highway. We see that Amazon, they probably have outgrown their 65,000 square foot facility already.
I see those trucks parked all over the old skate country. They're all over.
So, I mean, we've been found, but there's also that pause button. We have to make sure that development in our community is right for us. There's a reason why we all moved here. Quality of life is a huge part of that. So, being able to manage that, making sure that there are jobs for everybody that wants one is incredibly important, because we want to have a 12-month-a-year economy. So when we have slides like in the airline industry or the hospitality side, something else can pick it up. So.
Yeah. You mentioned public-private partnerships, and one thing I've seen in the last few years I've been with the county is an increase in public and nonprofit partnerships. I think this year alone, Boys and Girls Club. I know you were instrumental in hooking the County Boys and Girls Club with a foundation to help. It gave us $100,000 to create some after-school or daycare programs for first responders that were still working through the pandemic. Yeah. We partnered with United Way just a couple weeks ago. We had a golf tournament that raised $21,000.
Yeah. And a lot of folks look at from the outside in, and it's like, we do a lot with nonprofits. We do fund some of them, but there has to be a return on the investment. And a lot of the things that nonprofits do, for instance, New Horizons, government doesn't do that well, right? So, but if we can work with the folks who actually are the professionals at New Horizons and help people who need the help, we've actually been able to remove some folks from our jail to get them the help that they need through a nonprofit, that being New Horizons. So there are a lot of nonprofits out there that actually do things that the government doesn't do well. And so it's better to have that investment and get that return on the investment for the taxpayer.
Yeah,
and we save a lot of money for it.
That's a whole nother mountain to climb, is that mental health component with the jail system. I know at one point the jail was the largest mental health provider in the county. Unfortunately, and a lot of these people end up there when they could have been diverted to another program if those resources were available. One of the things looking at moving forward, and I know it's always something you bring up a lot, is trying to get work through the state to get those unfunded mandates that are always passed down to us, or sometimes the state will hamstring us on things. Tell us how to do that. What are your concerns on that front moving into the legislative session?
Well, this one's not an unfunded mandate, but it is one that's very important, and because we're talking about the jail, is that we need help from the state to help us with the cost of medical care for the inmates. We have to negotiate with our medical providers whatever the cost is. What we have seen is when somebody is incarcerated, they have not been adjudicated. They just simply have a charge against them, and they're placed in the jail where they can't bond out. But once they go into the system, they lose their medical benefits. If they're a veteran or if they're a Medicare, Medicaid, they lose those benefits
without even being presumed guilty yet.
Exactly. Yeah. And so what we're trying to do is to change that component from a legislative standpoint, so that if you are a veteran or if you have medical benefits, you get to keep them until such time as you're adjudicated and put back in for if you have to have a sentence or something. That's a really important thing, because it was last year or the year before, we went from a $3 to $4 million medical bill with the inmates to
6 or 7, right?
Well, actually, it was $11 million until we scrubbed them and asked for breaks from the providers. But $7 million. Yeah. We have veterans in this community that served us, and they can't get health care in good times.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. Unfunded mandates, there are plenty of them. Juvenile justice, we get to play a part of that. We pay the state Medicare cost back the other way. So when somebody presents to the hospital, just in general, we contribute to the bigger picture, that which is Medicare.
Yeah.
And we don't have a say-so in it. I'm probably forgetting 1,000 other unfunded mandates, but that is a challenge. And the unfortunate part is the state says, "Oh, we're giving you a tax break." Well, all they did is put the responsibility at the lower level government, whether it be the cities or the county. So that's a challenge.
And we have a new representative. Dana Trabolsi is our new representative in state. So have you had a chance to meet her or bend her ear about some of these?
I have known Dana for many years, and I think she's going to be a good addition to the legislative delegation. She's incredibly excited about doing the job. And she wants to do the job for the people, and so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a chance to. She's been very busy. And,
she
she just had a meeting with at Harbor Branch on clean water, and where's the focus going to be? I think Dana was there, and Toby Obrador from Senator Harold, and there's a new representative. I don't know his name, but. Regardless, I mean, they're already starting to have conversations, and they're looking forward to moving into legislative session. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for her. It's going to be tough for all of us in that we have clearly less revenue coming through for us and for the state.
The state, that's been well documented.
So back to the unfunded mandates, you can probably expect a few of those coming back in.
Sure. And since you mentioned, I know water quality has been a big drive for you. Probably, was that the one thing that led you into office was water quality issues? Or?
Well, it is. I've been doing it for 35, 40 years. And so just when I got into office, actually, it's funny, I ran for mayor on a kind of whim. I used to go write my papers at the Tiki downtown because the library was right there. And there was a group of retirees, there's probably 12 of them, and they saw what I was doing with the Jazz Society, they saw what I did with the Crime Watch and doing some good things and working with the environmental cleanups. And you should run for mayor. I'm like, oh, yeah, get me 300 signatures and I'll do it. I was a joke.
Yeah.
Well, within 48 hours, they came back with 400 signatures, and it was like, you're gonna run for mayor. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's kind of how I first got in, and then having looked at the county's open seat at that time, Joe Smith was in this seat, and I got a call from a sitting commissioner. I won't call him out, but he said, you need to run for that seat. And talked to my crew, and they said, what do you want to do? They said, we already have name recognition. You just spent money for this race. Go do it.
Yeah.
And we won. And that was always going to be my focus, keeping the environmental concerns alive, because this lagoon is probably one of the most important assets we have, probably in the $8 to $10 billion range annually, the value of the lagoon alone. So it's always been a focus. It's been a focus of mine as a dive instructor back in the Keys in the day, and that's how I found this place to begin with.
Yeah.
I used to stay here at the old No Walk Hotel for $15 a night.
I remember that place. So one thing is I always like asking commissioners is, what surprised you the most? That because a lot of people that run for county commissioners don't have past government experience. Some of them never even served. You at least were involved in the community, but I don't think you really understand until you get in here and realize that, wow, we're over libraries and we have a radiological, because we have a nuclear power plant and the public safety plans that we have. And what's the biggest surprise?
Well, I was fortunate to be. I was doing a paper at IRSC back in the day, and as part of it, I was with DECA, and I was creating a skate park. And as part of my presentation for DECA was to bring public-private partnerships in. So when I was doing that, the then professor said, look, you need to go make this happen. So I got involved in the skate park committee just by happenstance because I was doing a paper. And I went from there, and then Commissioner Coward said, you need to be on the Citizens Budget Committee. And I said, oh, okay, I'll try it. So I went on the Citizens Budget Committee, and I started to learn how government worked, like you said, well in advance of ever running. And when I got here, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and this. And then it was like, oh, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You have to get two other people to agree with you. But the other side of that is at the snail's pace of getting things done. Now, I understand today why, because if everything just goes fast, oftentimes you're going to make more mistakes. But if you look at a situation multiple times, time over time, and you have different opinions coming in, you're going to knock down some of the challenges or the unintended consequences, we like to call them,
sure,
of moving forward fast in something. And the other was the learning curve. I'll give Chris Kraft the credit. He said, when you get this job, you're going to be drinking water through a fire hose, and that was true. Anybody that comes into government literally is learning thousands and thousands and thousands of new things every day, and so Yeah, I would encourage anybody who ever runs for government positions is to learn and be well educated on the situation.
And I think, like you said too, there's opportunities to do that. You guys are always looking for people to appoint to different advisory groups, whether it's systems budget or contractor licensing or code enforcement, and at least then you get an understanding. And one of the things the county administration launched at the beginning of last year, maybe it was the end of 18 or 19, we started 19, was the Citizens Academy. And I think that's a great opportunity for people to come in, and it's usually a 4 to 6 week program, I think a 6-week program, and you get a feel and overview of every department and what they do.
And I've sat in some of those, and when I sit and listen to the folks who are there, they're like, I never knew that. That's why they do that.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you have an educated group of folks who understand really what the nuts and bolts are. It's always interesting when you go through an election. You talked about the election. Those who run for office oftentimes are saying, "Well, you're doing it wrong," or we pay the highest taxes in the state of Florida. Yeah. Well, technically, no, we don't. Sure. Actually, we from a per capita standpoint, we pay about $8 more than the state average. And so to say we have the highest taxes is misleading. Now, the millage, that's part of the overall equation. Sure. But until you understand the equation, you can't speak factually and truthfully to the item just by saying that.
And how the process works too, because a lot of people don't understand with homestead exemptions and property value. You own multiple properties, and I agree. I've sat it and heard people point the finger at the Board of County Commissioners millage rate, but you guys only control about 36% of the total millage rate. So it's not all, people don't understand that the fire district is a separate millage, the school district is a separate millage rate. The cities are water management districts, which are multiple. And so it depends on where you live and your values, your property values, which again, you don't set, the property appraiser.
Well, the one thing that came up in this last year when folks came to talk about the budget and, I pay too much taxes. Well, I'm going to just use one case, and it's throughout some areas of the county, mostly in southern sections, the CDDs, Community Development Districts. Well, it's an interesting animal, if you will. When you pay your taxes to the taxing entities. But if you build a property in a CDD, you get to pay for your house the way it is. But then you get to pay the cost of the CDD on your tax bill. So it looks like you're being taxed by the county and the city, but you're actually being taxed by the CDD. And
sure,
in one
to
case,
put that infrastructure in,
yes,
right? The roads,
sidewalks,
water, yep.
Yeah. So instead of putting it in the cost of the building, now it's a side cost to you as a CDD on your tax bill. And the one case that came in front of us, the individual said, "I'm paying $1,600 a year in taxes. Now I built a house and I'm paying $7,000." Well, the $1,600 that was being paid was on the value
Land
of the
itself,
lot, right?
Yeah.
So when they built the house, they built a $350,000 house. Well, the value of the house is part of the equation. Okay, that's the first part. But the other part is that CDD bill was $2,800. So $2,800 of the $7,000 tax bill was simply for buying a house, and paying the development.
And in a lot of that, again, it's not something you all set. That formula was created by the state. And so, on my street alone, we have houses that were built same year, but I've lived in that same house for 21 years now, but my neighbor moved in 2 years ago. Well, he's paying his taxes on the value that he bought it at that market value of today, where I'm still paying the market value or essentially the market value in 99, only going up 3% every year because I've been homesteaded. So
and to try and explain that on a campaign trail, it's just not going to happen.
I explain it a lot on this show. We still can't get people to understand it. So.
But that's again for those who ever want to run for office and be factual to the people they want to represent, is understand how it works.
Well. Commissioner, again, congratulations on another term. Four consecutive terms is a lot. I don't know what the record is, but I think it might be 5. I don't know. I have to go back and look at the archives because I was trying to figure that out. 20 years would be a long time to say.
It would be a very long time. Yeah. but if I could just take a moment I want to thank the citizens of St. Lucie County for supporting me again in this election. It was a tough year for all of us, and I'm very grateful for your support and your confidence in me and letting me serve again. I continue to work hard, and I've learned a lot from this one, and there are areas where I'm failing and not doing as well. You've pointed it out to me, and I appreciate that. I'm going to learn from that, and I'm going to do better going forward. So thanks.
Awesome. Well, Christian, anything else you want to mention before we wrap up the show?
No, we're still in this pandemic, and it suffices to say is we need to continue to socially distance, wash hands, face coverings when necessary, when you can't socially distance. But please stay safe. It's really, we're going to get through this.
And you and I both, we've been screened today. We brought our mask with us,
right.
but we're keeping a safe distance apart. So, well, thanks for coming on the show, Commissioner.
Shaking hands.
Yep. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to wrap up the show. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Inside St. Lucie, and we hope you'll tune in again next month. If you have topics or subjects you'd like to see covered here on the program related to St. Lucie County government, give us a call at 772-462-1791 or send us an email at pio@stlucieco.org. And if you'd like to see previously aired episodes of this or other SLC TV programs, visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/stluciegov. For myself and the staff, I'm Eric Gill. Thanks for watching.